Okay, so this one's Blue Stemos. Finland. Nice. I think that name is Henri. I've never seen it spelled like that before. Nando, what's up? You being cheeky or what? How's it going? So we've got 3 or 4 substance materials. Procedural action. That's weird. Why is that like that? Well, that kind of bugs me. Do you see how the format? This isn't Stemos's fault. But the way that the formatting of the text is like it causes the text to go higher because there's an extra line of text there. I guess like you could use less words to describe what it is. Like if you've got the substance logo, you can assume that everyone's going to think it's procedural. Or they're like, oh, substance, and then they click on it, and then they see what you've done. Especially if you show the node structure like this, you're like, oh, okay, yeah. No, it is procedural. OCD triggered, dude, it's true. What's up, Ducky? So let's start back here. Oh yeah, actually, before I do that, let's look at about. So labeled 3D artist, self-taught 3D artist, interested in hard surface modeling and environment art. Is everything being displayed okay for you guys as well? Kanu, how you doing? Thanks, Curious, for the link. So the self-taught 3D artist, that's cool. Interested in hard surface modeling and environment art. So and then in your skills, so one thing that I get really picky about, and I'm sorry if it feels like I'm using you as an example, but is if you have something in here which is not actually displayed in your portfolio. Kaya, what's going on? ZD. Azidi? So like hard surface modeling, let's see. So this shows hard surface modeling. So maybe there isn't an example in here, which is good. I guess when I think hard surface modeling, I'm thinking like machinery and stuff, but this is hard surface modeling right here. So this asset overall looks really good. Like there's a lot of interesting elements to it. You get nice roughness variation. The albedo seems to look, let's see here. Yeah, the albedo's got some interesting stuff happening with it. There's some interesting dirt on the base there. Normals look alright. Roughness. Yeah, this looks like metalness here. JK Shaw, what's up? If you think you missed your crit and I should have done it, go check the YouTube channel and see if you're in the critiques. Oh, that's interesting. You've locked the That's really interesting. Is there no back to this? Oh, I can't even pan around. Oh, that's kind of... So I don't like... This is the first one, Shaw. 2 portfolio reviews and then an hour of critiques from the Discord. So I'm not really a big fan of locked cameras. Mainly because I wanna be able to pan this shot down so I can see what's happening with the roughness on the text. It's like I can see it here, but I want to be able to get like a... I mean, I guess I could... Yeah, I can't really do anything. So feeling limited kind of is rough when it's supposed to be interactive. Anywho, in general, this asset is really well done. It could probably use a little bit more interaction between the elements. Like this piece to here still feels like it's floating a bit, just because there's no like grime between them. Or nice, the virus song. Not right now. But like you can see there's, oh Jesus, you can't see now. There's some stuff here, like this. It's like a AO discoloring mask. There needs to be something in here connecting them, because it still feels like it's floating. Like that's just really subtle, and it's good to have that subtleness. But yeah. It's also here, also like in this. I'm like also yeah. In general though, this looks dope. The metal could possibly use some, maybe the albedos to light. Let's see here. Yeah, maybe it needs to be more saturated and a little darker. Let's see what that would do. This isn't a direct translation either, but like I kind of feel like the metal should be maybe a bit more in that range. If that makes sense. Oh man, my computer is just choking today. Look at that. Come on, erase. Come on, Photoshop. Yeah, it'll do that. That's for sure. But it may maybe the gold is the kind of the same. Might just be the scene too. Like everything's a little bit washed. Like you can see your range to your black and your white is very limited. So you don't want everything to go full black, right? But at the same time, like that, see how much more pop there is to that? And you're still using your full range. You haven't really capped out in the blacks or in the whites. Overall, it's a really good asset, though. Little nitpicky, but the geo on this corner is really low. Maybe like 1 or 2 more cuts. Should round that out pretty nicely. Destructive leveling? What? Okay, rocky dirt. So this one's pretty cool. It looks like it's a little strong on the displacement stretching. What is happening? There we go. Yeah, right here, it's not too bad, but you're seeing the stretch occur. And with all that range, I think these little rocks could really use that little extra lift as well in the height map. I wonder if there's a, let's see here. Yes. Yeah, so in the height map, like the little rocks, I feel like should be brighter, just so that you're getting those to pop out a bit more. Because you're seeing it with the strength that you're seeing it in the normal, that should correspond to the height map as well. Like I'm not sure why it's not there, because you're deriving your normal map from your height map, right? So the only other thing is it feels like this rock pattern is very procedural. in shapes and whatnot. And the little pebbles, I guess I would expect to see them in a similar range, albedo wise, to the other rock. In this view, it's close, like it's almost non-distinguishable. But when you look at the albedo only, there's a significant value difference between the two. I guess maybe it's like you're pushing some really dark values in your albedo in the overall rock. Bob, get out of here, man. Couch cushion. So this one's pretty cool. I mean, in general, this is pretty straightforward. I would look at getting look at the roughness again. What's up, 4D? Oh, Bob, don't take it personal. You're okay, man. It's okay. Yeah, maybe looking at this with an eye on the roughness again, and maybe taking the... I don't know. I've always liked materials that have more than one roughness value going on. So like with this being this looks pretty shiny. The little buttons on the inside could be pretty interesting if they were like a metal or... Yeah, I would just like some roughness variation in there. I think that might be a personal tasting though. Because all you're seeing in this view is it's just very red, right? Your AO is also really, it's really strong. Let me see if I can... It's just the range is a little... Whoa. So just to give you an idea, that one in the middle looks more accurate to me. I'm like, what is happening? Yeah, the one in the middle looks slightly more accurate just because the exaggeration of the AO can be a little crazy. But yeah, I expect the seeing the roughness there. If I'm reading that correctly, and I'm a little tired, so I might be backwards right now, but like that means these should be darker, right? Not lighter. Especially if these are all the same material, then there shouldn't be any value variation between the buttons and the rest of the stuff. It's getting picky. Getting picky. Untouched ice. This material is really interesting. I would love to see it in motion, just because a lot of what makes ice look good is how the lighting plays across it as you rotate it, and then how subsurfacey it tends to become. Like this spot right here, maybe when you rotate it, that cloud actually is parallaxing inside of it, so then it has like parts where it's much clearer, than the rest, and like these cloudy parts are just where you get a lot of particulates or like air bubbles inside of the ice itself. In this close-up shot, you get a little bit procedural with these patterns here. I need to check my alerts. What? Oh, you're talking about, dude, that is what it looks like every couple of hours. I checked my alerts before I left work. The ice is also a little gray. The ice should I mean, the ice is reflecting the environment around it, right? So maybe your environment is just kind of overcast. I'm not sure. And then there's rock surface. This rock surface is actually looks cool. It's just very stylized, and kind of how like the shapes form, like this harsh edge here, and then how this cupped area kind of dips inward. And then like this, there's shapes in here that aren't natural, I guess, to how you experience or how rocks shape, how you experience rock shape. What? Let's do this. So like these shapes here is very fabric-y and flowy, and then this one's really interesting. Like it's wiggly instead of like in some areas it looks pretty good because it's more harsher faceted. Like this upper area is pretty good, and then it dips off that way. But then you have areas where it's flowing in a very fabric-like crease way. Thanks, Tobias. So when you get really close up to the material too, it kind of gives away a lot of the tricks you're using, I guess, to get the material to look nice. Like when you're showing off a substance, I guess maybe I don't think you have to go and zoom in too far. Have it visualized in the way that people will view it in game, which is usually not very close unless it's like an FPS, like a first-person shooter or whatnot. But in general, like I know you'd messaged me and told me not to. Like I didn't need to critique yours just because you hadn't had time to add anything to it, but I will just say, like, based on what I'm seeing currently, if you get more of this stuff, you'll have a pretty strong portfolio. There's some material tuning you have to do and some histogram range, but this already looks really nice, mainly because you're staying inside of the 0 to 1 brightness range in the histogram in Photoshop. It's when you get super blowout or super like shadows, like the black hole shadows. For people who don't know what those are, black hole shadows are where there's no information. But you don't have black hole shadows, which is really nice. Let's see if I can show that. So see how there's basically from here back, there's all that space for that little bit of space left for information. And same over here. There's a little bit of space left for information. That means he's sticking inside of the space, the range. So if you wanted to, you could do that, and that just brings it just a little bit more within like the full range of the image. Now, black hole shadows are basically like if I do this, all the information past this point, you see it's right there. Let's see if I can get some more here. Oh, it doesn't really display it very well because you want to see a solid chunk. But so black hole shadows are basically black pixels which have no color information in them. And we'll do, this is for you, Bob. So make a layer, paint it red, go to this layer, double click on it, and then just mask out the lowest part of the range. And you can see, you can do it in the white as well. So you can see the background is where the blowout happens first, and the highlights, which is where it should happen when it starts to break down. And then the other way around, that little bit there. So where it's red, that's like no information. Spread the word in. So that's why this looks so good, is because that's not happening. Like you can get 90% of the way there with your materials by just making sure you stick inside of this range. And then the next thing to look at is like how saturated something is. Like that's too saturated, of course, right? That might even be close to saturated in the gold, but the blue is still okay. And the best way to make that work, I'll show you. So this is your colors, right? It's your range and your saturation and value. Basically stay inside of this. Actually, it's not a good way of displaying it. There you go. Stay inside of there and you're gonna be safe. What's in the box? What's in the box? What's up, Splinter? How you doing? Let's see here. But yeah, get more of these in here. And because you're saying you're interested in hard surface modeling and environment art, go to town on it. I wouldn't even have substances in here unless you want to do texture. You want to be a texture artist. There is juices of the creative type in here. Yeah, dude. Can feel it. Can feel it. So more props, more environments, composition, all that stuff. And then we can talk about what else you need to work on in order to make sure you have like a good enough portfolio to get yourself in that door. Get in that door. Anyways, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Okay, I'm going to switch over and we're going to look at the next portfolio, and then we will get onto Discord critique stuff. All right, be right back.